friction between the PNP at saka ng NAPOLCOM. Isa din sa nakikita nila yung mga reversal of appointments sa ginawa, yung ni-reassign yung CIDD Chief Police Brigadier General Romeo Macapas sa SOC Sergeant in Mindanao back in July, when in fact ito daw po si Macapas ay meron na ngayong administrative complaint with the NAPOLCOM regarding naman dun sa kanyang alleged mishandling of key witnesses dun sa yung Patidongan Brothers. Ito nga yung kaso naman pagdating sa usapin ng missing Sabongeros.
Pero historically naman kasi the PNP chief has had some sort, and any PNP chief in the past has had some sort of friction with the NAPOLCOM.
Oo. Pero syempre, under the Constitution, ang NAPOLCOM ay over and above the PNP.
Well, just to stay, we're still shocked. We'll see kung ano yung real
reason. So ngayon, ang
reason.
tanong dito, sino yung ipapalit? So they're looking at General Melencio Nartates Jr., which is supposedly, ito nga yung top candidate before him, bago siya na-appoint din na PNP chief. Siya yung nakikita na maaring papalit ngayon sa kanya. But for now, as of now, wala pa tayong official confirmation
kung sino and kung bakit.
Wala pa tayong details.
Kasi kailangan, the reason has to be, before we go on, the reason has to be really serious. It's because ikaw ang poster boy sa arrest ni former President Rodrigo Duterte.
Yeah.
If you remove him, parang sinasampal mo yung sarili mo, yung appointing power. Parang, pwedeng sabihin ng mga Duterte, we told you. Mali nga point, di ba? So, if you were the president, as much as possible, kung mga minor infractions ang meron siya, magtsatsaga ka kasi poster boy mo to eh. Yeah. So, there must have been something that happened that we don't know. But, we'll see.
And I'm sure the Dutertes, the family of Duterte would issue a statement regarding this because sila yung number one nito eh. Basher nila.
Ang dami rin haka-haka. Baka siya magli-lead ng Truth Commission ng investigation sa... Kasi di ba...
May nakita din ako, sabi ko, usapan pwede daw DPWH secretary.
Or hindi, kasi hindi ka engineer eh.
Pero ito po ay still speculation.
Pero yung kumakalat ngayon is baka siya mag-head down ng Truth Commission ng pag-imbestiga sa flood control. Kasi hindi pwedeng connected sa government ang independent na mag-iimbestiga. Pero
makikita nga natin dito.
Pag ganun kasi, pag reappointment to a cabinet position, you don't relieve eh. You merely reappoint.
Reappoints eh.
Pero
ang nakalagay na word doon sa memo, di ba?
Well, you have to remember ang Truth Commission is not a government agency.
Yeah.
So, you have to be relieved before you're appointed to a civilian. But we don't know.
We'll see, kasi sabi nga nila, if ever dalawa yung magiging 4-star general, di ba, one would be the next appointed, the PNP chief.
Di ba 5-star general ang mag-head?
Yun ang sinasabi dito, and then the other one is PNP General Torre, unless he will be retired early.
Alam ko na kung bakit dalawang 4-star general. Because the PNP chief is the 5-star general. The mere fact na hindi na 5-star general si General Torre, he's back to being a 4. So dalawa silang 4.
Tingnan natin. But this is a developing story, ha?
Appoint nila yung isa, di maging 5 siya. 4 pa rin si Torre. Diba?
Again,
alright.
this is a developing story.
In weather, Pag-asa continues to monitor a low-pressure area. For the latest Pag-asa weather forecaster, Alzar Aurelio is on the line. Thank you for joining us.
Hello and good morning.
Alright, Alzar, nasaan na si LPA ngayon? Tsaka what is affected? Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao?
Yes po, ang low pressure area ay malapit na sa may coastal waters ng sa Quezon. At ngayon nakakaranas tayo ng maulap na kalangitan. At may mga pag-ulan sa malaking bahagi ng Luzon at Visayas dahil sa low pressure area at ang southwest monsoon. Dahil sa weather system, dalawang weather system ng nakaka-apekto sa bansa, pinapaalala po namin na makakaroon ng mga malakas na pag-ulan na posibleng magdulot ng pagbaha at pagguho ng lupa sa malaking bahagi ng Bicol region at ganoon din sa may Isabela, Aurora, Quezon, Bulacan at ganoon din sa Palawan, Occidental Mindoro at Antique. Itong low pressure area sa natin medium, ibig sabihin within 24 hours na mababa ang tsansa na ito'y na maging bagyo. Pero kahit na di pa bagyo, paghandaan natin itong maging alerto at nakahanda sana tayo ngayon dahil sa mga pag-ulan dulot ng LPA at Habagat. Balik po sa inyo.
Okay, so Alzar, itong LPA na to, kailan ba natin naasahan na ito ay matunaw ba or lalabas din na rin ng Philippine Area of Responsibility?
Posibleng ngayong araw ay isa sa nakikita namin na ma-dissipate o malulusaw itong low pressure area pagtama sa kabundukan, mga Sierra Madre. Pero may nakikita mo another scenario na pag-dissipate itong low pressure area, may uusbong na napanibang low pressure area sa West Philippine Sea, sa west ng Central Luzon.
Alzar, may binanggit ka about yung rainfall warning sa Bicol. Ano yung magiging sa Metro Manila, sa NCR or sa Luzon? Ano yung volume of rain na ma-expect natin today at the very least?
Within the next 24 hours, ang sa may bandang 50 to 100 millimeters diyan sa may bandang Bulacan at Rizal. Sa Metro Manila ay asahan ng mga mostly light rains.
Okay.
Itong inaasahan na makakapaglabas nitong isang LPA at pumasok na isa pang LPA, will this also be enhanced by the habagat?
Itong low pressure area na binabantay natin na sa ngayon hindi siya baga nakita na lalabas ito sa PAR kundi mag-dissipate pagtama sa kabundukan sa Sierra Madre. Isa pang low pressure area na another scenario, panibagong low pressure area na posibleng mabuo o usbong sa may West Philippine Sea sa west ng Central Luzon. At inaasahan lalabas ito pa westward, maaaring po sa Friday or Sabado po ito. Yung posibleng another LPA sa West Philippine Sea.
Alright, sige. Patuloy kami makikipag-ugnayan sa iyo. But for the meantime, maraming salamat sa iyong oras, Pag-asa Weather Forecaster, Alzar Aurelio. Now, Malacanang confirmed the suspension of government work and classes in several areas on Tuesday due to anticipated heavy rains from a low-pressure area and the southwest monsoon. The announcement came through Memorandum Circular Number 94 signed by Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin following the recommendation of the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council. Agencies providing essential services such as health care and disaster response are instructed to continue operations. Local officials may also implement suspensions in other areas, while private companies and offices are advised to decide on their own work arrangements.
And speaking of suspensions, government work and classes at all levels in both public and private institutions have been suspended today, August 26, in several areas. Interior Secretary John Vic Remulla said the suspension was due to anticipated severe weather conditions. The affected areas are Metro Manila, Aurora, Quezon, Rizal, Laguna, Camarines Norte, Camarines Sur, Albay, Sorsogon, Catanduanes, Masbate, Northern Samar, Eastern Samar, Leyte, Southern Leyte, Bulacan, Nueva Ecija, Pampanga, Batangas, Cavite, and Naga.
Now, in other news, cases of hand, foot, and mouth disease and dengue have risen across the country. As of August 9, HFMD infections reached 37,368, up from 5,081 in 2024. Health Secretary Teodoro Herbosa said HFMD is generally a mild childhood illness that resolves within about a week, but infected children should be isolated at home. Meanwhile, Quezon City has recorded nearly 7,000 dengue cases from January to August this year, a 151% increase from the same period last year. Almost half of the patients are children with an average age of 11 years.
Pero lilinaw ni spokesperson Albert Domingo, hindi daw talagang umakyat ang cases ng hand, foot, and mouth disease. It's just that naging mas efficient ang reporting mechanism nila. So it's in other words, mas nakakatalog yung mga cases of hand, foot,
Mas
and mouth.
nare-report.
Oo, mas nare-report. Mas nakukuha nila yung data. Mas maganda ang pagkakalap nila ng data daw. So
In different areas
in
as
different
well.
areas. Pero
Kasi ang laki ng difference, no?
sinabi nila
5,000 in 2024, tapos biglang 37,000.
Malaki daw. It's because they're more efficient in tracking. Yun ang sinabi ni Albert Domingo, Assistant Secretary Albert Domingo. Oo. And also yung sa dengue naman, we talked to yung si Doc, what's her name?
Yeah.
She was talking about there is a vaccine that doesn't need malaman mo kung na-infect ka na o hindi para safe like the vaccine. I remember na hindi pa daw approved So,
Yeah, wala pa dito yun sa atin.
no, that's why I'm talking about it, na sana it's already in the Food and Drug Administration at sana tignan nila mabuti ito if it really can help kasi medyong alarming na yung rate of dengue cases sa atin.
Yeah, pero kailangan muna maayos yung pag-iisip ng mga tao dahil meron sila mga traumatic experience doon nga sa nakaraan na naging vaccine natin, which is the dengue.
Well, there will always be pushback against any vaccine. Sa COVID vaccine nga madaming pushback din but then again it keeps you safe worth exploring it.
Okay, but syempre pag maulan talaga marami po mga tumataas na cases ng dengue and leptospirosis. So ingat-ingat po tayo mga kapatid. But we'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. Good morning. You're still watching News and Views here on One News. A DPWH district engineer in Batangas is set to face charges after allegedly trying to bribe a congressman. Here's a report.
Batangas 1st District Representative Leandro Legarda Leviste inspected the Binambang Riverbank Protection Project in Balayan, Batangas. The project was completed by the Department of Public Works and Highways in December 2023, but was destroyed by Typhoon Christine in October 2024. This is part of nearly 340 million pesos worth of DPWH contracts in Balayan. Based on the contract, the sheet piles installed along the river should have been 15 meters deep. Out of the 3 sheet piles retrieved from the river, each measured only 4 to 5 meters long, far shorter than required.
Sabihin po natin, 1/3 lang pala ang haba ng sheet piles na actually na inilagay. 150 million pesos worth of sheet piles ay 50 million pesos worth lang pala ang inilagay. At kaya sinasabi nga ng ating Pangulo na malaki ang posibilidad ng korupsyon sa mga flood control projects dahil sa 150 na yan, 50 lang ang nakuha natin. Yung 100M na bakal na binili ng DPWH ay wala pala.
Amid Leviste's investigation into flood control projects, the congressman revealed that a DPWH district engineer allegedly tried to bribe him to drop the probe. In an entrapment operation, authorities seized 3.1 million pesos in cash from the district engineer identified as Abelardo Calalo. It is still being determined which project Calalo was trying to cover up.
It is not a single incident last Friday. That is the issue here.
News 5 tried to get Calalo's side at the police station, but he refused to face the camera. Secretary Bonoan said the engineer has already been suspended.
Kasalanan po niya yan Kung nag-bribe yan, let it be a lesson to all the district engineers in the department. Hindi, wala akong sasantuin.
Today, August 26, Leviste is set to file multiple charges against Calalo before the Batangas Provincial Prosecutor's Office. The alleged bribery attempt may also be taken up in the upcoming hearing of the House Infrastructure Committee.
Okay, so yung sinasabi rin ni and we were able to talk about this yesterday. Sabi ni Senator Ping Lacson na mas maigi, meron din tayong makuha na big fish. And it's very sabi niya it's unusual na itong district engineer siya mismo yung magbibigay ng ng bribe, no, allegedly nga
Usually
dito
may
kay
middleman yan
congressman. Pero this proves you lang din daw on the other hand na itong
Desperado
mga
na sila.
district engineers na to would be just bagmen fronting lang dun sa mga bigger fish
Saka they're
na
getting
mga
desperate.
contractors or mga key government officials na maaaring yun nga mas sangkot pa dito sa anomalya na ito.
Basta ako gusto ko makita, habulin nila mga politicians involved.
Right.
Also, kasi sila ang proving power ng budget Mga congressmen, although legislative in nature, sila ang nag-allocate, nag-pinpoint ng specific areas. Kung ikaw engineer ka, ikaw may kontratista ka at meron kang construction company na nasasakupan sa area na yan, diba? Pwede mong sabihin, bigay mo yung congressman tong amount para mag-approve ng ng allocation, di ba?
Tsaka grabe, if you would listen to the yung speech, yung privileged speech ni Senator Ping Lacson, yung sinasabi niyang scheme, di ba? Yung may mga passing through scheme dito para dun sa mga contractors, para dun sa kanila mga flood control projects, ay talagang dapat tignan din nila yan, ano yung mga ginagawa doon. And of course, di ba, we've seen a lot of reports yung tungkol dun sa mga local government officials are saying na wala kaming alam dyan, hindi sila nakipag-coordinate sa amin. Kaya sinasabi ni President Bongbong Marcos, we have to, ibalik yung dating kalakaran na dapat merong LGU na nakikipag-coordinate sa national government kapag meron silang proyekto sa kanilang distrito. Kasi parang very naman yun na nandoon yung national government, may ginagawa sila, may pinupukpok sila doon, tapos ikaw na nandiyan na mayor, governor, or whatever, wala kang alam doon sa nangyayari.
Sabi doon ni Senator Ping, hindi nilang daw niya inalam kung may mga congressmen involved. Di ba? So kapag yung direction nila ng Senate and Congress is, and ni PBBM is to find out yung mga sa DPWH side and kontratista. Di ba? I just hope na lahat, hindi lang yung one side makita
Pero
natin
dun sa
lahat.
speech ni Senator Ping Lacson, meron siyang pinangalanan doon, di ba, na congressman.
But stop short. But he said, yung mga iba hindi na niya inalam. But I just hope na magandang idea yung sinuggest ni Congressman Sandro Marcos.
Na
Independent commission. An independent
Pero sinasabi
body.
nga ni Senator Win Gatchalian, dapat daw at this point in time, take a leave of absence na lang si DPWH Secretary Manny Bonoan. Dahil nga dito sa mga katiwalento na during the investigation, parang inamin din naman niya, alam niya. 'Di ba bakit wala siyang ginagawa? And we are already on the third week of this investigation of the anomalous flood control projects, and we want answers as well. Ayaw natin yung mga pointing fingers at saka yung maliliit na tao lang yung nasasangkot dito.
Cleansing.
Yes.
President Bongbong Marcos said that corruption and abuse of power are the country's new enemies. Speaking at the National Heroes Day commemoration at libingan ng mga bayani, Marcos warned that mocking the system can no longer be ignored as it repeatedly harms society. He also insisted on the importance of vigilance and disclosing the truth.
Kailangan din natin labanan ang banta ng katiwalian at pang-aabuso sa kapangyarihan ng ating lipunan. Dahil hindi lamang salapi ang kanilang ninanakaw, kundi pati ang kalusugan, pangarap, at kinabukasan ng mga susunod na henerasyon na Pilipino. Bilang Pilipino, may pananagutan tayo sa ating bansa na maging mas mapanuri sa mga mali, na isiwalat ang panloloko at panindigan ang alam nating tama kahit hindi ito madali.
Now, the House of Representatives is set to launch its probe into alleged anomalies in flood control projects. Let's get the latest from our mobile journalist, Amy Atienza. Amy, what's the latest?
Yes, good morning, Angela. Diego, here at the House of Representatives, we're actually waiting for more discussions regarding the flood control projects. But right now, we're also listening to the budget briefing with the Civil On-Service Commission. So, yung nangyari ngayon, Angela, Diego, is pinag-uusapan pa rin kasi dito sa Kamara, kung kinakailangan nga ba ng more budget dun sa ibang agencies. At yun nga sa CSC kasi, nasabi nila na ang naibigay sa kanila sa budget turnover is around 4 billion pesos. Pero nagre-request sila na madagdagan ito dahil nagiging priority nga rin nila na matutukan yung digitalization naman daw ng ahensya. At yun nga para daw maturuan yung mga functions dun sa CSC na mas maging digital nga. At yun nga sinasabi nila dito na lahat naman daw ng pera na ibinibigay sa CSC talaga nga na mga nagagastos nila at meron nga daw silang audit na magpapatunay para dito. Pero yun nga, babalikan natin sa usapin ng flood control projects, abangan pa natin dahil nga sinasabi dito na pupunta nga daw si Bonoan, pero hindi pa rin naman natin nakikita yung presensya niya at kung ano nga ba yung mga masasabi niya. Doon natatalakay na rin kung ano nga ba ang nagiging pahayag ng ilang mga kongresista rito. At sabi nga nila, ay dapat nga raw simulan na ang investigasyon pagdating nga dito sa mga flood control project at wag na nga daw i-delay dahil nga marami na ang nadadamay at marami na rin naman talaga ang nahuhuli sa ganitong mga akto. Bilang na nga yung naging kaso na inihain ni Batangas Representative Leandro Leviste regarding this. Angela, Diego?
Amy, what about the 15 top contractors that were named in the initial findings or initial report of PBBM a few weeks ago? Sila ba invited dyan? Meron na ba silang invitation? And will they also submit subpoenas doon sa mga hindi dadating katulad ng ginawa ng Senate?
Well, so far, naririnig pa lang natin, ay talagang inaanyayahan nga na pumunta dito, at makipagtalakayan. Siyempre, mabigyan ng diskusyon itong nagiging kaso nga ng flood control projects. Pero kung ano man yung magiging development dyan, hindi pa natin din naririnig dahil nga most likely daw, next week pa rin talaga masisimulan ito dahil nga may mga organizational meetings din na gusto pang isaayos dito sa House of Representatives.
Well, we will continue to get in touch with you regarding this issue. Maraming salamat. Aming mobile journalist Amy Atienza reporting live in the House of Representatives. Now, Senator Risa Ontiveros sounded the alarm following the arrest of businessman Joseph C., who allegedly misrepresented him as a Filipino and even joined the Philippine Coast Guard Auxiliary in 2018. Here's a report.
A Chinese businessman was arrested by the Bureau of Immigration shortly after arriving from Hong Kong on August 21. Joseph C., chairman of the mining firm Global Veronical Holdings Inc., was found to be posing as a Filipino using a fake Philippine passport and other falsified IDs. His real name is Sheng Zhongzhen, a Chinese national. For Senator Risa Ontiveros, he is like Alice Guo 2.0. A more alarming detail, the Chinese businessman had been appointed Auxiliary Commodore of the Philippine Coast Guard Auxiliary. Although the PCGA is voluntary and non-governmental, Hontiveros said it is disturbing that C gained access to people and events where issues of national security may have been discussed. She stressed that the Senate should investigate this. The Philippine Coast Guard, for its part, said it will also look into how C managed to enter its ranks and promised to release a detailed report. On the other hand, the Philippine Nickel Industry Association is calling for the immediate release of C. The group insists he is a Filipino citizen, claiming his citizenship was legally obtained and affirmed by the Bureau of Immigration in 2 separate rulings. For now, C remains detained at the Bureau of Immigration holding facility in Taguig.
Don't go away because we're not done yet. Please stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching News and Views here on One News. Dumanog Cebu Mayor Efren Guntrano went viral for punching and slapping a suspect in child cyber porn. The suspect, a relative of the mayor, was accused of using an 11-year-old girl in an online sexual exploitation. The incident was caught on video and posted by Gika himself on social media. The mayor said he has no regrets and is ready to face a Commission on Human Rights investigation.
The Department of Social Welfare and Development, or DSWD, is rolling out a unified PWD ID to curb the use of fake IDs, ensure quick verification, and promote equal access to benefit persons with disabilities nationwide. Mobile journalist Fatima Baduria has the report.
No to fake PWD IDs. Yan ang panawagan ng business owners dahil sa naglipa ng nandadaya at gumagamit ng peking ID para makadiskwento. Para matigil ang paggamit nito, nagsimula na ang pilot testing ng Department of Social Welfare and Development para sa bagong Unified PWD ID. Iisa na lang ang magiging disenyo ng PWD ID para sa lahat.
Yung ating pong person with disability ID ay meron na pong digital copy, meron pang physical copy. So yung digital copy, ito ay may features na nakakapag-capture ng biometric information para magkaroon ng quick and reliable verification using a mobile application or a web portal. Gayun din po, meron itong ang physical ID na RFID enabled na pwedeng gamitin for offline use. And because meron nga mga safety or security features yung ating digital and physical ID, hindi po ito basta-basta mapepeke o hindi po ito makokopya fraudulently.
Inaasahang maiiwasan din ng diskriminasyon sa mga PWD na may tinatawag na invisible disability. Marami kasi sa kanila ang napaghihinalaan na peke raw ang ID.
Ang pangit kasi yung, alam mo yon, para sa kakaunting privilege lang, gumagawa pa ng kalokohan para lang makuha yung privilege na yon. Samantalang, di ba, hindi mo naman kailangan kung sakali, bakit kailangan mo pang gawin yon?
Target ng DSWD na maipatupad ang Unified PWD ID sa buong bansa bago matapos ang taon.
So kapag meron na po tayong datos ng kung sino at ilan at kung nasaan yung ating mga persons with disabilities, makakapagbuo tayo ng polisiya at programa that would be truly responsive of the needs of the persons with disabilities.
Panawagan din ng DSWD na huwag samantalahin ang kapansanan ng iba para masulong ang pantay-pantay na oportunidad para sa lahat. Mobile journalist Fatima Baduria po, hatid ang mukha ng balita.
Now let's discuss this further with Attorney Walter Alava, spokesperson of the National Council on Disability Affairs. Good morning, Attorney.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma'am. And good morning po sa lahat.
Alright, thank you for joining us. Let's get right to it. No? Can you explain po paano gumagana itong unified PWID system?
Okay po. Na-develop po yung yung Unified Persons with Disability Identification System po through parang kasi diba may emergency. So dun sa emergency na yon, because of the fake IDs, naghanap po tayo ng isang verification system. Now, paano siya gumagana? So, yung ID po is lahat po mayroon siyang mga fields. May mga data fields po yung ating mga persons with disability. So, need po i-upload yung mga data fields nila. And then dun sa requirements na data fields na yon, parang i-verify ng ating mga different local government units through the Persons with Disability Affairs offices. Now ngayon, yung pag-verify nila, they will be issued a digital ID. And then yung digital ID nila is mapapasa po dun sa portal natin, dun sa website natin, para pwede na po siyang i-verify. Yung digital ID po, meron po siyang QR code na verifiable to our system.
Okay, so paano po makaka-avail yung mga legit na meron pong kapansanan? Because we all know naman po, naging issue po talaga ito dahil ang dami po nagkalat yung mga fake PWD IDs.
Yes po. As of the moment po, nasa pilot testing tayo, 'di ba? So nasa study stage siya. So yung for the information lang po siguro sa lahat is nasa status quo pa rin yung mga identification cards nila na ginagamit. Now, with respect to the unified ID po, yung mga yung mga persons with disability talaga natin, mga authenticated na persons with disability natin is pupunta lang po sila sa kanilang mga PDAW offices or sa LGUs nila para po magpa-upload sa kanilang mga data fields para po makakuha sila ng digital ID nila.
Yung PDAW office na yan, yung Persons with Disability Affairs Office na yan, meron din po silang kasama na kapartner na medical doctor to assess yung isang tao kung talaga siya ay may PWD. Especially, I'm talking about yung mga invisible yung kanilang disability.
Very good question, Mama. There are two types, there are two categories of disability po kasi, 'di ba? The apparent and unapparent, nakikita at hindi nakikita. With respect to the doctors po, prior to going to the prior to getting their IDs, kukuha po sila ng mga ng disability certificate. So, for our new applicants po, need po talaga nila na magbigay kasi syempre kailangan din nila ng file. But for the re-applicants natin, yung sa mga nagpapa-renew ng kanilang mga identification cards, hindi na po kailangan yung sa apparent kung nakikita.
Yes.
Yes po, kasi syempre 'di ba? Parang kitang-kita mo. But with respect to the mga non-apparent, need po talaga nila magbigay ng medical certificate or disability certificate para po mabigyan sila ng disability certificate.
But who will vet this certificate? Kasi yan din po yung isa sa mga nakikita natin na tama, no? Legit yung ID nila, pero yung requirements sa binigay nila para makuha yung ID na yun is fake.
Based on our NCDA Administrative Order number 1 series of 2021, specific doctors for the specific disability po talaga ang mag-issue ng ating mga yes po sir. mga specialist po, specific doctors for that specific disability.
Pero more importantly, attorney, meron na ba kayong updated list ng mga registered disabilities? Kasi I understand may mga iba na akala nila pasok sila na with that disability, yung pala, it's still not accredited as a disability.
Meron po tayo, sir. Makikita po natin sa Philippine Registry for Persons with Disability, and nire-reflect din po natin yan sa ating website sa ncda.gov.ph. Meron pong nilabas na bagong administrative order si DOH, but we are closely looking into kung paano siya i-implement, kasi syempre yung sa AO there are challenges on how to implement it, but based on our website po, nandun pa rin po yung mga types of disabilities, and makikita po kung ilan po yung na-register natin sa Philippine Registry for Persons with Disabilities.
Pero mostly naman, attorney, no, we are almost the same with the registered disabilities ng WHO.
Hindi siya hindi siya parang registered with the World Health Organization.
Okay.
Meron po talaga tayo dito
Sarili
sa atin.
natin.
Opo, meron
Okay.
tayong approximately nasa mga 2.3, pumapalo sa 2.3 million na persons with disability under the Philippine Registry for Persons with Disabilities. All this registry po na nakuha natin was uploaded by all the LGUs na nag-issue ng mga identification cards.
So, para
these are...
Go ahead, attorney, sorry.
So these are identification cards that was issued by the LGUs to our persons with disabilities. So yun po yung nasa 2.3 natin.
Okay. Malinaw na po yun. At least, so if I want to register myself and get a PWD card, titignan ko muna kung ano yung registered disability. Kung pasok ako doon, pupunta ako sa specialist, and then hihingi ako certificate, ito turn over ko sa inyo. Ganun po ba yun, attorney?
Yes po, kasi pagpunta mo dun sa ating sa ating mga PDAO offices, bibigyan naman po tayo ng requirements, and one of the requirements is the disability certificate. So kung yung persons with disability po need niya pagpunta niya dun sa ating mga opisina sa LGUs is to have the certificate and then to fill up the form. And then pagka na-fill upan yung form, may issuean siya na identification card. But with respect to the unified ID po, kasi nga po nasa pilot stage tayo, nasa study stage tayo. So ang sa kanya naman po is halos the same naman, but the difference is it's a digital ID system, and then it's verifiable. Kasi nga po, ginawa siya talaga to address the emergency of the proliferation of fake IDs para po mapuksa natin at ma-verify natin yung mga IDs ng ating mga persons with disability, para ang gumamit lang po talaga ng mga discounts and benefits are persons with disabilities.
Yeah, I understand po na this is just a pilot rollout, pero do we have exact timeline na po kung kailan po yung rollout nito nationwide?
As of the moment po, meron po tayong mga 30 plus LGUs na nag-signify for this one, and then we are waiting for the polishing and refinement of the system para po ma-test na natin sa kanila. And then hopefully po when everything is successful, we will be rollouting it sa buong Pilipinas na po.
Okay. So
Go ahead.
So, paano po yung magiging information campaign natin dito pagdating po dun sa mga, to remind po, paalalahanan yung mga establishment, diba, na may bago na tayong ID na dapat nilang i-honor?
With that po, siguro, let's wait for instructions coming from our chairperson po, the Secretary of the DSWD, Secretary Rex Gatchalian, with paano po natin siya ma-disseminate to the public. But with respect to that po, hinihintay natin yung mga instruction natin sa ating head po.
I'd just like to understand this a little bit more, attorney. So, ang end goal ba natin dito is to totally eliminate yung unverifiable physical card and eventually rely on a card that can be verified on face value?
Yes, sir. Tama po kayo, sir. Ang pinaka talaga natin as of the moment is to address the emergency concern with the fake IDs, and at the same time to have a 24/7 na verification system for our persons with disability para po mawala na talaga at ma-cleanse yung system natin with the fake IDs po.
So in the meantime, attorney, kung walang yung ID nito na sinasabi natin ID that can be verified, does establishment still have to respect yung current PWD ID cards natin?
Very good question, sir. Tama po. Status quo po kasi, so they have to honor the IDs based on the based on based on Republic Act 9442 as amended by Republic Act 10754 na yung mga IDs ng ating persons with disability may mga benefits talaga and privileges. They have to honor it. So with respect to verification naman po, it can be verified through the issuer. So kung sino yung LGU na nag-issue, sila po talaga ang magve-verify nun.
So ganun po yung verification at this point kasi may ilang balita po tayong naririnig din po at na ire-report sa atin na nirereklamo po ng mga PWD na pag pumunta sila sa isang restaurant or establishment, hinihingan pa sila ng another ID to confirm their identity and to confirm that PWD ID that they have.
Tama po yun, Mama. It's a form of it's a form of verification, but so long as they are not discriminated on how to do it. Kasi syempre naman po, they really have to present their identification cards kasi syempre ilalagay yung ID number nila for the for the receipts, 'di ba po? So siguro it's another layer. Basta ipapaalalahanan lang natin yung ating mga persons with disability and our establishments to be nice, to be courteous. Kasi syempre, it is a form of discrimination pag medyo iba yung ating approach.
Paano, attorney, ko apparent ang disability niya, tapos claim niya meron siyang ID, hindi niya nadala, pero may picture siya sa phone niya, na-picturean ko naman, pwede ba itong gamitin muna in availing of the privileges?
As of the moment po, may mga good practices tayo na inaalaw, but meron naman pong hindi. Pero syempre po, 'di ba? Talaga, parang physical ID. But mag-ano muna tayo, like parang siguro for some na nagbibigay talaga, that's a good gesture. Pero yung sa iba naman po na kitang-kita naman talaga, and then ang kailangan niyo naman is yung ID number ng persons with disability. So siguro po as a good gesture for our persons with disabilities, maayos po na kung pwede bigyan sila ng benefits nila under the
So kanya-kanyang kanya-kanyang adherence kung anong gusto nila gawin. Ang question, go ahead.
No, I was wondering, perhaps, Attorney, if you can reiterate the benefits ng PWD ID na ito, just to inform also the public.
Okay po. With respect to the benefits for our persons with disability identification cards based on Republic Act 9442 as amended by Republic Act 10754, meron po silang 20% discount and 12% VAT discount to to services and to availing mga services. And then at the same time may 5% to prime commodities. So inaanyayahan natin yung ating public po na to provide the necessary discounts and privileges and benefits to our persons with disability kasi syempre po they really need this, especially yung sa mga medication nila, sa pang-araw-araw na mga expenses po.
And for more info, attorney, they could check out ang website ng NCDA or DSWD?
Yes po, they could always visit ncda.gov.ph. Andun po lahat po yung mga updates natin, or you could also visit us sa ating mga Facebook pages or social media accounts natin. Just search po National Council on Disability Affairs.
Attorney, last on my end, I was wondering if ano na po ang ginagawa po ngayon ng NCDA regarding dun sa mga reported fake PWD IDs. Are they planning to file complaints to those involved dun sa producing ng fake IDs?
With respect to that po, NCDA is always supporting and providing technical assistance to our PIDA offices na magsasampa ng mga cases. Especially naman po talaga pag i-go talaga ng ating mga persons with disabilities. That's why we encourage our persons with disability with respect to these fake IDs to report, and then to the public po to really report para po hindi maabuso yung mga yung mga benepisyo na binibigay for our persons with disabilities.
With that, thank you so much for your time, Attorney Walter Alava, spokesperson of the National Council on Disability Affairs or NCDA. Thank you so much.
Thank you po.
All right, the iconic Love Bus is now back in Cebu and Davao. But will commuters be able to count on it for the long haul? Para bigyan ng mukha ang balita, Mobile Journal, Evan Tarinque.
Love is in the air at sa ating mga kalsada. Dalib-nalik ng Department of Transportation ang mga love bus na hindi lang new and improved, libre pa. Nitong weekend, sinimulan ng DOTR ang launch ng Love Bus Project sa dalawang malalaking lungsod sa Kabisayaan, ang Cebu at Davao. Sa Cebu, may 11 love buses na libre ang sakay mula Talisay City o Anjo World papuntang Cebu City at pabalik. Available ito tuwing 6 a.m. hanggang 9 a.m. at 5 p.m. hanggang 8 p.m. Sa Davao naman, may 8 love buses na biyahe mula University of Mindanao Matina hanggang Mintal at vice versa. Libre rin ito sa mga oras ng rush hour.
In the past, the love bus was only in Metro Manila. It's very important and symbolic that we are launching it in Visayas and Mindanao.
Nasa 2,500 na mga pasahero at 44 operators ang makikinabang sa Cebu, habang nasa 3,300 na pasahero at 30 operators naman ang makikinabang sa Davao. Layunin ng proyekto na magbigay ng maayos, komportabling sakay at makatulong din sa pagbaba ng traffic. At ayon sa DOTR, mayroong nakalaang 125 million na budget para sa operasyon ng Love Bus sa Cebu.
It's worth it. It's worth it because it's a direct benefit for the passengers. As we know, it's not an easy commute in our major cities like Cebu.
Ang Love Bus, unang nagbiyahe noong 1970s. Sikat ito noon bilang unang aircon bus sa bansa. Ang kaibahan ngayon, libre na ang pamasahe.
Unlike before na may bayad ng kote, ngayon the President said, we must do it free.
Sa pagbabalik ng Love Bus, hindi lang ito nagdadala ng nostalgia ng 70s. Malaki rin itong tulong para makabawa sa pang-araw-araw na gastusin. Mobile Journal Evan Tarinque po, hatid ang mukha ng balita.
Naglabasan na
Alright,
tayo
as
ng edad
yesterday.
dito. Naglabasan ng edad. Naabutan mo ba yung Love Bus?
Hindi ko na.
Hindi, oo. Hindi mo alam yung yung kinikwento
But I
nila.
know about it because yung through my mom's stories. Kasi she used to ride that bus going to her work at that time.
Hindi mo na abutan, pero nasakyan ko yan eh. Oo, pero hindi ko na maalala. Sinesearch ko kahapon sa mga social media platforms, yung jingle. May jingle kasi yan, may commercial yung Love Bus na yan eh. Tapos di ba may catchphrase yung sinasabi ko sa'yo. Yung exact catchphrase na sumakay ka ng single, pagbaba mo, double ka na. May love
ka na.
May love ka na. Yun ang isa sa love. Pero as I said nga, ang sikat sa Love Bus noon kasi was from Cubao all the way to Makati. Dati kasi ang rinireklamo ng mga tao, ang Cubao to Makati or Quezon City to Makati took 30 minutes. Nabutan ko yan. Nagrereklamo na kami dyan, 30 minutes. Sa Love Bus, minsan 20, 25, 15, 18 pag walang traffic. Kaya ang daming gusto mag-Love Bus. Tsaka aircon. Oo, di ba? Air condition. Kaya sakay kami dyan.
Tsaka parang syempre, expected naman na medyo may iba yung itsura niya as compared to the old one or the original one. This one kasi is lighter shade of blue.
Oo.
I remember through photos na research natin, darker blue siya di ba?
Ayan, tsaka alam ko yung heart nakita niyo yung heart na yan, yung Love Bus. Alam ko may ibang color na nakalagay doon eh. Parang may color yellow or something.
Yellow? Parang I don't remember.
No, parang there was a commemoration logo noon na may halo siyang iba-ibang color. Pero very similar yung logo. Pero the shade nga, you're right.
Yeah.
It was a darker shade of blue then. Ngayon it's a lighter shade of blue. And of course, yung mga...
Ito tama ka. May parang yellow siya yung save something, hindi ko mabasa.
di ba? May yellow siya.
Ito, save gas.
Ayan, tama?
Yellow.
So, ayaw na ni PBB may yellow sa logo ng Love Bus. Bakit kaya?
Baka iniba na nila. This is yan yung luma.
I was right. May yellow talaga
an
yun.
upgrade siguro for them. Pero still serve the same purpose.
Ayaw na ng dilaw sa logo ng bus. Naisip ko lang.
Political color daw, Char.
Oo. Hindi, pero yun, sana umabot sa Metro Manila. I'd like very much to see it sa Metro Manila. Who knows? It could be the carrier of the point-to-point. Diba? Oo, kasi siya nagsimula ng air condition sa Pilipinas, di ba? So, it as well. Libre pa. Diba?
But then again, balikan lang natin yung issue kay relieved PNP Chief General Torre. As of now, it's still, wala pa rin. It's still a developing story. Until now, wala pa po tayong naririnig or nakakitang report o na-verify na report who will be replacing him. as of this.
Hindi mo kasi noon pwede mong sabihin yung most senior ang papalit eh. Ngayon hindi kasi 'di ba si President Duterte shocked everyone by appointing then General Bato.
Yes.
Kasi 2-star lang si General Bato noon
Yes.
and na-elevate to being the PNP chief.
So as I've said
Lumaktaw.
kanina, yung nakikita nila dito na maaaring pumalit sa kanya is si Police Lieutenant General Melencio Nartates. From Ilocos siya ha. Kasi he was supposed to be yung susunod dapat. Pero na-appoint nga at that time itong si PNP chief.
Si poster boy of Malacanang
Yes.
kasi doing all the right things no.
Pero may sinasabi si si Senator Ping Lacson na parang nag-overreach siya ng authority niya doon sa pag-reassign ng kanyang number 2. Ang number 2 niya ay si General Nartates. No, nakita ko 'yan dito sa sa page natin sa One News, yung sa statement ni Senator Ping Lacson.
Well, I'm sure this
regarding
this story will develop all throughout the week. May malalaman tayo.
Yan sabi niya, Torre acted beyond his authority in relieving second in command. Yun ang sinasabi niya.
Ayun.
Yun.
Sige. Before we let you go, I'd like to leave everyone with a quote. If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything.
That's true.
Anonymous. Anonymous siya. And that wraps up today's episode of News and Views.
Join us again tomorrow. I'm Angela Lagunsad Castro.
And I'm Angelo Castro III. We are One News.
All sides, all the time.